Dude, my building is insane right now, dude. yeah. What? Yeah? Oh my god. What? Hell yeah. Fucking hell, I did a perfect run and then I fucked it up with my edit. But, yeah. My grandma just texted me.
right away.
This is the problem with this drop. You're saying it is literally a required split drop, so you have people, your trio is not everybody's near each other, and right there, Deadshot being too far to the east ends up paying the price. Not a good look early game in game 4 for this trio.
Yeah, but normally you're supposed to sprint over here or have a teammate drop over at this science spot immediately, because this is a great source of both metal and brick with 2 different chest spawns. And not having control of this, you typically will sprint over here with a driftboard, but they ran straight into a fight. Godlike takes a ton of damage right off the bat. No shields left to him. Tyrax has to box himself up, and they're in a tough situation when he has really good loot.
He does. He does indeed. Decent spray, no pump, but the tack is still good enough to make a difference. Meanwhile, Godlike Launchpad does have that campfire, but gonna use the single grenade, knock out the structure. Looking for a quick edit through, switching a spray, can't quite find a bead on anybody just yet. Tyrax still rotating around inside as well. Basically trying to play keep away at this point. Just stuck in a 3v2 situation. Godlike getting punished from above. Gonna have to try and hold that wall. A ton of metal, which is fantastic. It does put the campfire down. But you're looking at a situation where we might have, oh my gosh, got the edit, the trap placement.
The second one down, oh my lord!
Did. Are you kidding me? On the spot.
Godlike, that was Godlike.
Such good heads up play. Ends up getting 2 pickups there, 2 eliminations. This just went from a 3v2 to a 2v1 in their favor.
The good old dodgeball swing there. Might as well have caught the pass. Now they're trying to find it. Tyrax took some damage there. They know the opponent's nearby. Another great follow-up. Some shield tags from Godlike. Finds the 103, and it clears up Hope. They do have driftboards nearby. There is a med kit down there, so we should hopefully be able to keep Tyrax in there, but it burned through a lot of their other resources. On the other hand, you now have the loot from that trio, and we already said they were decently kitted. 3 points going over to them, and having the driftboards mean they should be safe now.
Godlike with a double trap placement play to literally swing that from being outnumbered to 3 eliminations, a launch pad, and the opportunity to escape. That is a big shift. That being said, no matter what, because the distance that Deadshot was from the other 2, they're stuck at a duo now. No chance to grab the reboot card. They're going to have to make their way into the safe zone at this point, especially because they are so far out. You see kind of the curve. They're going to have to make it past Loot Lake all the way down here to get into the safe zone.
And that's super dangerous because you're going to have a number of different teams who are funneling in towards that north side and then looking to continue to rotate out or to about face. And driftboards are loud. That's the one thing about them. While they are very mobile and they're fast, you can hear a driftboard from a mile away, and if somebody does get a bead on you, these players are very good. They won't miss. You will take damage. You'll either have to hop off and then be stuck and being storm held, or just continue to find a way to break line of sight and hope they don't send you into one of those ridiculous spins that you can't recover from.
Tilted down. I know the spins you're talking about. Tilted down, still inside this next safe zone. Look at the move from circle 2 to 3 here in a minute 40. Quick little tag and some stinks inside. Sure the loot share is going on. 142 builds. No eliminations for this trio of Pancake, Sir Panda, and Clipper. You do see all the way to the top of your screen right now a small tower built up on top of that hill above Shifty Shafts. That's basically center-ish of this next safe zone. So that team, whoever's up there, is in a good spot already. You mentioned the drift boards. You see the outline of players flying in. Adapter and Obede both on them right now. Looks like Kakarot might be the only player in that trio that does not have a drift, and he may run into Clipper and Pancake here in just a second. I would expect shots if they think it's a good timing.
Oh.
Right here in a second. Wait for it. Wait, there it is. The countdown, and they start beaming. Looks like all the way to white damage at this point. The knock. Kakarot away from his trio. He's caught on the outside, quickly eliminated as Obede and the other teammate sitting on top of that campfire at this point.
Really weird that he didn't cover his back. Like, I figured he at least would have, like, tried to ramp push himself forward a little bit or, like, just toss a wall in that direction, but it seemed like he couldn't really tell where it was coming from.
You'd expect even the reaction speed from a competitive player in Fortnite right now, like, you get shot and you're not 100% sure where it's coming from, you're going to spin and burn the 40 materials literally just to put up the walls in every direction. No reason not to.
Worst case scenario, point your head straight down and toss a cone on your head.
Yep.
But now honestly, I hate these fights. These fights irk me more than anything because there's so many spots in Shifty where
there's a lot of little angles
is occupied. But now a great little hop through for Clipper, but then he gets clipped himself. Die Pancake trying to do everything, does pick up Adapter, and that's another trio going down. So now 3 elims for them, but 2 revives that need to happen. And there's a number of teams there, but Pancake will be playing medic and get this one taken care of.
Well done on his part. 3 eliminations now, 24 points total. We're at 27 trios. Storm Surge is coming into play now. 77 players, which means 7 more need to go down before that stops being an issue. But for this trio down here in the bottom of Shifty Shafts, they are free and clear. Over, I think, 190-ish damage above the threshold. Trio from Sam, I believe you picked this trio as your favorite. The Middle East right now, Hunter, Flame, and Prime here at the skeleton of the monster.
Yeah, so they were the only trio to take a week away from Fiesel and Klops, but again, like we said, they had played with 2 different trio partners there, which kind of led me to edge more towards these guys. Flame was the player who ended up qualifying for the World Cup, unfortunately wasn't able to attend due to personal reasons. With that being said, seeing him kind of grow on the Middle East region, kind of bring this trio up, he's definitely the anchor here. He's able to pop off in so many circumstances, but the fact that they are very consistent in their discipline, and I think they perform slightly better in kind of these tight heat scenarios, and I'm just excited the fact you see them sitting on 42 points. They are towards the higher end for what we've seen in these matches, so assuming we'll see them in the grand finals tomorrow.
Good chance they make their way on through. We are still in game 4, so even after this one completes, 2 more games remain for this Middle East Heat 2 group. We shall see. At this point, yeah, here we go. Little box hold. Going to pop that edit and sit and just look around, see if there's anybody on rotation. Comms between this trio while they're sitting here on the northeast side of the next circle. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7-ish trios in roughly the same area here. I would say especially the 2 trios to the north right now, looking down from above, they are definitely in contention to take shots as rotations start to occur. But here we go. Hunter and Flame. Hunter dropping a couple of those grenades out. The shield bubble goes down to stop any further aggression for even just a moment. Very good call there. You don't want to lose too much structure, especially to those GL shots. Get a little bit of splash damage going. A couple shield breaks. You're going to see aggression in this trio here in a second, if it happened.
So honestly, I'll trade. He had 7 grenades before, so he threw 1 more back in the chamber there. Now he has 3 max. I'm not sure if there's other explodes across the team, but they pulled zone again, and you burned a bubble shield for not a ton, right? The grenade launcher would be great in a circumstance to force another team out, but that's effectively what they're trying to do there. And instead of trading it for mats and maybe a couple tags, you get other team's bubble shield out. So not too bad, but a push coming in on the other side. As that Zapper does get armed, but grenades get thrown out the other way to try and equalize the fight. Press is coming through. Hunter, however, on the backside, edits back out. Akator gets picked down. Oh my God! Rakan gets mowed down right there. A super aggressive edit coming out from Hunter. Prime, unfortunately, does go down. However, we've seen before with this team that Flame and Hunter are the backbones. Every single time in the week they won, it was Flame and Hunter putting up absolute numbers. Not to down talk Prime or anything, but they are not unfamiliar with the situation. And the fact that they pulled zone again and they're able to rotate through, I'm still confident.
Right now playing like legends, holding it down here still. 2 eliminations. Prime is out of it at this point. Going to go for that quick edit, reset the trap on the wall. Looking to see if he can find it. Can indeed. Lesix is eliminated. Seal off the top of this box that they're sitting in and rotate around. They are, looks like, safe now in here. Chance to pick up the car to potentially make a push. If there is even still, I don't think there is a reboot van in the safe zone. Maybe Shifty, depending on once we see the full map, we'll have to take a look. Shifty might be the only one, but at this point, that's too far of a rotation. There's no need to worry about that. Nightmare, Ranger, Obito down at the bottom here in the river. Kind of a precarious spot to be in. They basically reclaimed little hut that's down here along the river, but you're so exposed down at the bottom of this canyon. Anybody that's up top that wants to take shots, if you're forced to rotate, is going to have the advantage against you. 24 trails remaining, 67 players. We have 45 seconds until we move towards Circle 4.
Yeah, and the next Storm Surge threshold after the 70 will end up being the 50. So when that one pops up, don't be surprised to see it. with that being said, after the fight with the Sam Trio, they basically had an extra 1K mats laying around. So the next zone pull, if they pull zone again, they're in such a great position. But otherwise, they still have the opportunity to kind of branch out tunnel and have a slightly safer rotation. What we're really waiting on is there's not going to be a whole lot of action for the next 20 seconds or so until that zone settles and it moves. Everyone has basically staked out their territory. We've seen a few pokes back and forth, but right now, since no Storm Surge is active, some grenades coming out right now. Oh, and this is something I want to talk about right after they go through, because we've seen the rise of the Solari nade, which is a little bit like this, but here's Godlike and Tyrex, who we saw with that early 2v3 turnaround from Godlike, trying to go on the aggressive here, and they've separated this full trio, knowing they got that. Nightmare, unfortunately, gets his ramp block, but that's not his metal wall, and that's going to complete. That's a launch pad burn for nothing, and now great 100 tech picks up Tyrax, but then Godlike picks it up, does cover his back, will try and get the conversion through the siphon. Can Godlike clutch it up again? He wants to get back over his teammate. Nightmare does get the conversion, and he's safe, but now what can you do as the other trio starts pouring in shots? Shield tags coming out from Ranger. Obito over there as well, but as the zone settles, if he can branch out even a little bit, he should be able to disengage. Some nades come flying in, but now it seems like they've mostly given up the fire as he's disengaged down into the water. As I say that,
this might be some of the most aggression we've seen between two trios that, honestly, with the position that they were in previously, it even surprises me that they pushed for this, because coming from the west side of the river, they didn't even have to get in there, but Tyrax gets capitalized on, goes down, Godlike, Tyrax, the trio eliminated. But I'm just saying, like, they were a duo and they just pushed on a trio and they didn't necessarily have to. It was a chance for eliminations. And it ended up, it got them one, but it paid the price. Now they're out of game 4.
So what Obito did there, it was sick, by the way, because when he put down the metal floor as the revive happened, both character models stood up at the same time, and they were force phased through. Yep. So you either crouch down and they own the wall and you can't go anywhere, or you're just stuck with a wall blocking basically the entirety of your screen, and you're looking up and getting headshotted, which is what ended up happening there. But the aggression coming out from a singular nade tag when you pulled zone again, yeah. Like, if the PG boys had just boxed up, like, they'd be set. And they'd be good, but the aggro coming out, trying to play the aggressors, did get the pick onto Nightmare, but Ranger and Obito saying, nope, not today. They'll get that one. Now going all the way back. So the Solari nades, right? When you line it up, it's 300 damage of explosives coming through at once. Have you noticed that every single time somebody's on the receiving end of the clip, they're sitting in a wood structure in around zone 4 or 5?
Yep.
Yo, stop building your 4, 5, and 6 zone structures with wood.
People are going to learn
and then complaining
eventually,
about getting Solari naded.
People are going to learn eventually.
So build with metal, because then the first barrage comes through and it gets eaten. And if you can't throw another wall up after that, then you probably deserve to get hit by those nades.
It's just tough because you're trying to sit on the metal until later in the game.
Nope.
But hear me out. I understand. You're trying to sit on the metal until later in the game. A lot of players at certain points will say, I don't want to have to worry about that as we go into the end of it. You know, they're going to start looking at eliminations as their source of material. Basically a replenishment. But you're right. Using the metal between 4 and 5 is probably one of the more important things if you think a nade barrage is going to happen, because if you don't prepare for it, that's going to happen. You're going to get eliminated.
Like, your two options are either have a hard scout looking for pre-edited cones, because that's how you line it up, or just sit in metal. And I know, but even then, like, you could sit on top of a full, like, a singular metal cone in a 1x1 at the top. As long as you're in that, you're good from the first barrage, and then you can edit down and recone yourself. I'm just throwing it out there. 400 HP on fully built metal.
You're not wrong. We'll say that. You're not wrong.
But now, good rotation coming out here, utilizing the launch pad, and now we're pulling in towards the half-in, half-out zone that has the potential. I mean, this is brutal. You're half on a mountain, you're near tilted zone, so you're either running through the river while the billy goats are up on the side, or you're being forced to go over the verticality. So these next zones are going to be key. That's why you see people burning utility now to get primary positioning here, because you're either on the high ground or you're stuck.
Trying to take shots at more players rotating through. Carl, 1 elimination. Raid and Snoika, 3 and 1, so 5 eliminations total for this trio. 20 points, 20 trios remaining right now, 43 players. Well ahead of what the damage threshold is thus far, especially if Carl continues to hit tags, if they even have to worry about it at this point. Here we go, the next circle, looking at a northeast push back across the valley through the river. See this massive amounts of pressure. The minigun combined with a legendary AR spraying walls down. They're trying to seek out any damage tags they can, because if they do get a knock, especially in a place like this, everyone's basically pressed against the wall. You're looking at a chance where someone else is going to try and take shots at that too. Plus, Carl has 12 RPGs. Here we go. Wait for that edit. See if you can sneak one in and get a ton
You
of
have
damage.
12. You need to start firing these off.
Honestly,
can't take them with you. Oh, there you go. Can't take him with you. As you see, he gets the 120 tag there and immediately going to start reloading. He knows people are going to move. Launchpad does come out. Good little archway edit, but oh, yeah, there you go. That was actually such a great move to get up on the high ground on the far side. Now start firing those babies off. Punish these players who are trying to rotate through right now and take advantage of your superior positioning. But right now, instead, just going to get themselves settled in the fact they're sitting on 5 elims and they have great positioning right now over the rest of the lobby. Bubble shield on top of the launch pad to prevent the immediate laser. So good little combination there and showing off the versatility of that new addition.
There we go, taking their rotation as well. Carl all the way up top. Number of players rotating on through there too. Tuna potentially going to take shots. This trio tries to make their way in, looking for a spot to land. Carl's going to get forced all the way down underneath a tree, basically the low ground with this many players above. 13 trios remaining at this point, which means one more needs to go down, and then placement points come out. A solid rocket! Ooh. Are you kidding me? Right through. What an angle there as Carl picks up at least, let's see, 2 knockdowns. Mine are unique. Both knocks. You see in the feed up there, which means one player left. There's the eliminations come out. Vinti is the last one to go down there, and this shockwave to put him at the forefront of the storm. Very, very key. Looking back down underneath, still 10 more RPG shots. Feeds one through. Another trio of 121 damage hits. Another one. Oh my gosh, the feed just does not stop for Carl, finding knock after knock. Raid does go down. You see, going to be eliminated, so they're down to only a duo. But building forward, one right in front. Another elimination there, up to 5.
Great awareness, too, to turn now with that AR towards the line, seeing the player rotate and drop down, catching him, and now he worked directly back up to Snoika. So all of a sudden, they're back together, and they're one of the few duos who is still left. Everyone else is pretty much a solo rider. You can see Flame still in the top left. Carl picked up another elim. That's another rocket finding down. No marks there, but then gets it with the AR tags. Top 4, but he gets picked up. Still 7 RPGs in there, but he had great efficiency there. Dropping down, there's one duo left. Otherwise, it's all solo riders. 11 elims from Snoika and his trio. Nobody wants to fall here. You want to get into top 2. There's elim number 12. There it is, and there's top 2 as Ziad goes down. It's Obito versus Snoika there. Can he close it out? Unfortunately, pinned against the wall. You have to go forward. 7 HP, but it's a wall of tack shots coming up there, sprinting straight into Obito and Ranger, the duo who is able to clean up that fight in the river, turns around the resources, runs the lobby. 13 elims, 15 points for the VR, 28 points there. That was pretty impressive, Zeke. What do you think?
I mean, look, anytime you can knock out 28 points in a single game, you're feeling pretty dang good, and I'm pretty sure the Ranger trio here was feeling pretty good after that. Now we're back here. We're joined by Shai because he's got some pretty incredible plays to take a look at.
Yeah, the main thing with Obito that I saw was crosshair placement. It was actually insane from what I saw. The way he kind of manipulates each environment he's in on where he wants to place his crosshair is amazing. So we're going to break that down real quick. We're going to get into it and see exactly how things go. Checking out the replay right now, we're going to be in Tilted Town with Ranger. So at the moment, he's going to be looking top down, making sure his crosshair is always in the middle because he knows builds actually won't come out. It's really cool to see as well, dynamically switching his spacing on where he is. He'll see a shockwave or an enemy come out from the actual house he's in. Instead of fighting him, he gets boogie bombed. He's going to go up, make sure that whenever he's going to be pumping through, it's going to be a guaranteed headshot from the top down. More pellets will actually hit in this engagement. So very good, very fast cleanup. You'll notice every pump shot he takes is a direct over 100 damage because of where he places his crosshair. Right now we're checking out his another person in the region as well. He's going to be going up and around Thunder. Carl actually moving in and out of his box on different layers. You'll see that he actually sees a lot of the zone, so when he actually jumps up with the shockwave, he can see exactly where he's going. Then we tune in back with Obito, just standard up end game, but once again, that crosshair placement from both these trios, knowing exactly what layer they're on and where to look, there's no confusion whatsoever on exactly what is going on. So off mid-ground, you want to look up a little bit, but most of the time, your crosshair tilted down, looking exactly where the enemies are. Another plus 100 pump coming through. Once again, no confusion. RPG, look for more elim points down below. Easy shots taken, a little bit of an overpeak, but the clutch factor is always there. Once again, positioning perfectly, taking your time. The crosshair, I will keep stressing it, is so good. Just being at the perfect position possible. Less work for you, more expected, insane plays, high accuracy. It's amazing.
Man, Obito, Ranger, and Nightmare. Now, Nightmare unfortunately was taken out, but still, an awesome game from them. 28 points. Obito really manipulating the chakra of his enemies there. If you get it, you do. If you're not, that's okay as well. With that, he got it. With that, we're getting ready to hop into another round of games. We're going to be jumping into game number 6 of heat number 2, if I'm correct. And I believe that's going to be Monster, D-Face, and I. Is that correct? Monster, is that you? Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. We're not the same Wait a minute.
No, look. I have different clothes. We have different facial hair. We're two different people, brother.
We're two different people. Oh my gosh, I thought it was just me and me there for a moment. My bad. Apparently you and I are actually two completely different individuals with different voices. Now you know. Fortnite fam, we're getting ready to jump into the next set of games. What do you think so far, man? So remember, these games happened this morning, but what do you think about the Middle East?
They literally have me breathless. It's been a lot of fun. No, honestly, watching the games unfold, again, we talk about a lot. Watching new region come up, and have an opportunity at the spotlight, it's been a blast.
Well, let's not wait any longer. We're jumping into game. Here we go. This is game number 6, I believe, of heat number 2, if I'm correct. We're jumping into all of the action right now. But yeah, man, Middle East is absolutely insane. Their precision, their accuracy, their aggression, like, they are out of this world. And it's kind of crazy to think, like, they've been on this forever, you know, and now we actually get to see it. They get to show us what we've been missing out on. And that's what's kind of cool about Fortnite as a whole. It's a global competition, right? So being able to add another region and then be like, oh, hey, what's up, Fortnite fam? We are also part of this, fam. We're here to play. Let's show you why. I mean, it's just impressive.
That's right, and we've seen a couple stars come up. Even our predictions aren't necessarily as accurate as we thought they would be. It could just be because, obviously, we're taking a look at
this is just the first heat.
Regions, right, and even right there, Sam Hunter. I know that was like
sundown.
Right, so like today, when the stakes rise, right, and then things are a little more intense, these heats are coming out, we're seeing new faces come out. And that's what matters, the players that can perform under pressure. It kind of reminds me like way back when, and you know, shout out to Fulmer. I know he pulled through in the trios division for this recent one, but Fulmer did a fantastic job in the opening session of the Winter Royale, but then he couldn't pull through in the finals, and we've seen that kind of happen. So sometimes when the pressure's on, people have a harder time. So, you know, we'll start to feel it out, see what happens when the high stakes are up, almost the same way like can Mitra, Mongrel, Benji pull it through again, which we know they probably will, but it's when the stakes rise, who comes out on top. Those are the real champions.
I think Sundown pretty much puts it best. Some days are just not going to be your days. And some days, a Fortnite for you will go unbelievable. You'll find your golded out kit, right? You'll get those eliminations. You'll get those perfect rotations or those launch pads, those splashes, whatever utility item you need. And sometimes it just isn't going to go your way. So being able to kind of pivot in that moment and say like, okay, look, we landed here. We took a bad fight. What do we do right now, right? That is going to separate good players from the very best of the best, right? And I think I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. I still don't think we've seen the highest range of Middle East. I still think they have a very high ceiling, and they're just going to continue to show us what that is as the season, as this Grand Finals continues.
And talking about ceilings and shots and all that kind of good stuff, Obito actually caught a nice little headshot with the hunting rifle on one of those unsuspecting players who was firing down and did not expect that shot to come right back. Lots of offense played right there, but Steady's trying to get to that reboot card. He actually is going to pop the shockwave. And I don't know if this is the right play, putting himself at a disadvantage here. Oh, because it was only a knock, right? He didn't actually get to finish the deal, so he's going to be able to pull this revive off right here. He's going to be able to pick that player up. Obito and Ranger are now stuck in a 3v2. Remember, no one can build here in Tilted Town. It's all about the angles. Nice little camera usage right there. Getting over the shoulder. That's going to be a 1-drop, 2. Can he get the 3rd right here? Connecting with so many shots. Zeke, this is going to be really close. Here it is. Oh! Hits the big pump. Ranger showing that he is not here to play any games, but Fortnite games.
I like that. Fortnite games. That was good. I like that. Man, that was crazy. But for Ranger to just immediately down 2 people, right, and then kind of force the enemy into that 1v1 with the chug splashes in his hand, if you're the enemy and you're popping something like a mini, you still have that, like, delayed timer, right? A minimum 2 seconds. There was some splashes there. That enemy was like, you know what? I've got the splashes, but I think I hit him pretty hard. Let's just go full send and see what happens. Now, Ranger was like, oh, are you? Please, come on over. I've got the pump ready to go, and I will down you. And that's why we saw them pick up the win last time. Again, just that aggression, that precision. These guys are executing on another level.
And that's one of the perks of battling in Tilted Town. You can really see those clutch ups happen because of the camera movement. It all comes down to angling yourself, hiding your body, and then making those shots. Here we have a little bit of a Brute gameplay. We haven't seen much of the Brute today in any of the regions. We just really haven't seen much. It's been kind of, I guess, flying under the radar, per se.
Yeah, we've, I believe, if I remember correctly, we've seen it like 2 or 3 times. And right now, the way it's used is either to, like, just go full send on people inside of Retail Row, because then you can kind of farm the pylons there, farm all those cube monsters very quickly and efficiently, or you kind of sit in a build and then you edit a roof piece off, fire out the rockets, and then re-edit here. Sykes is going to find one of the 2 eliminations, and they're trying to track down another one if possible. It looks like Hubo has one of the enemies. There you go. They're going to drop down. Not today, Red Boy. Not today.
That was just too easy for them right there. Stomping the yard, bringing down the build fight. Obo was holding it down, but it was not enough here as they walk away with a couple of elims, and they're completely capped out at this point now. Now they just have all the time in the world to heal up. They have the material source just from getting those knocks. That's going to be able to kind of replenish their pool, and it's only Zone 1. And there's already 70 players left in the lobby, so this lobby, unlike the others, has actually chopped down pretty quickly. It's because they're getting into their groove at this point. This is game 6 of Heat 2.
Yeah, so this is pretty much, remember, the Heats are in games of 6, right? So when this happened this morning, this is it. This is a player's last opportunity. So if they're down on points, they're looking to qualify. Remember, for this region, it is top 12 that move on. So they're trying to rack up as many points as they possibly can. So they just like have to say, look, cards on the table, we just have to go in. If something goes extremely well, we can potentially strike up in top 12 and move on. Or if it all goes wrong, you know, we may be outside of the range, but we need to make something big happen, and it needs to happen right now.
That takes me back to the World Cup qualifier days when Nate Hill and Funk came up out of nowhere with only a game or 2 left. From a 30-point, I believe, and they climbed their way all the way up to like 60 or 70, pulling them all the way through to the final. So anything can happen here in these Fortnite games, really, when you put your mind to it. Sometimes the stars just align for you, really, and big plays happen. So big build battle out in the distance here, Zeke. This is your worst nightmare. Brute coming in. You don't want to be up top. You really don't even want to be here at this point, because the rain of fire is going to start coming in now, and that is, for starters, a 50 shield pop right there, and it's Hunter, Prime, Miner, and Unique all going toe-to-toe here.
And
Hunter's already down. Prime's out.
That's it. Well, Sundown, how right were you on those predictions, my friend? Actually, he's very correct.
He's still correct.
Really good at his job. But, yeah, the Sam remaining duo there was picked up in the crossfire, and now they're looking to try and track down the last few players. That laser designator coming out telling you, hey, rockets are inbound toward you. You might want to make a move as quickly as possible. The thing about the Brute is, don't forget, it is like, if you just beam it down, you can either laser out one of the drivers, which is the top, or the one in the legs. But look, I mean, just them focusing down, they've already destroyed 500 HP from the Brute. So if you literally just turn it down and laser it, it's going to just blow up, right? And that's the thing is, I think people haven't quite, like, adjusted to the fact, like, oh, you can actually just beam this thing down. right? Because your first intent is like, I just got to get away from it. It's like, no, literally just look at it and beam it down. I'm telling you, like even with a minigun, you'll just shred it.
You'll see that like on NA East or a lot of the other competitive regions, especially the European and North American regions, they see a mech on the field, they turn, they alter. The server almost unanimously decides, hey, we're gonna fire at that.
Take that out.
Get that out of here. Yep, and that's kind of the focus fire you need in situations.